Manu, you're up on the Hill, and you just had a chance to speak directly to the speaker. What did he say?
Yeah, I asked him if he's willing to cut a deal with Democrats if his first plan to pass a Republican-only bill to keep the government open for a short period of time, if it collapses tomorrow, which is expected, is it time for him to work with Democrats? He would not say. He said that he is not going to talk about his plan B. He said that he does have a plan in mind, though he wouldn't reveal what that is. But at the moment, Kevin McCarthy is facing resistance from a handful of conservative hardliners who simply say that they will not agree to a short-term bill to keep the government open, as Democrats say they are opposed to that plan because of the spending cuts and other measures attached to it, all really leading to a round of finger-pointing and concerns that the government could shut down on Sunday.
I think everybody loses. I think the Republicans lose. I think the Democrats lose. I think the administration loses. I think the country loses. That's why we got to figure out how we do our job here. Simple.
It's not great. I mean, there's no one in that conference and within our conference that wants to shut down. I don't hear people saying they want to shut down.
You know, I think that members should be looking for stronger leadership. And you know what? Quite frankly, I know that people in my district that I represent want to see stronger leadership. So I'm all about it.
So that last comment from Congressman Eli Crane, who said that he is willing to support a vote seeking Kevin McCarthy's ouster. That is something that continues to linger over the speaker. Threats from the far right that could push him out if he were to cut a deal with Democrats to keep the government open. Perhaps one reason why the speaker has not yet gone that route, as he's trying to corral Republicans to back a GOP-only plan, even though it doesn't have the votes in the House and certainly doesn't have the votes to get through the Democratic-led Senate. But that threat continues to loom. And just moments ago, when the speaker was asked about all that, he contended he is not concerned about that vote, suggesting perhaps he could win it if the vote to come to oust him comes to pass on the floor.
Yeah, lots going on. Manu Raju up on Capitol Hill. Thank you. While Congress is mired in dysfunction right now, there are broader warnings about the economic impact of a government shutdown. Brian Todd takes a closer look at how this will impact millions and millions of Americans.
This Wisconsin food pantry is bracing for a surge of needy families if the federal government shuts down this weekend.
A lot of people might come through and be like, this is my first time here. How does this work?
Two reasons for more hardship: federal workers won't get paychecks, and families who rely on food assistance could lose it.
If they don't get those benefits, they might come here every week instead of only once a month.
First to feel the pinch, almost all of the country's more than 3.5 million federal workers going without pay.
They live from paycheck to paycheck. When they don't get a paycheck, it could be devastating. Matter of fact, it could be disaster.
Over 1 million are active duty military.
These service members have rent to pay, mortgages, childcare. So those bills are going to mount up. It's an incredibly stressful time.
Some workers will still have to work without pay, those deemed essential. For example, soldiers, border patrol, and air traffic controllers.
It certainly doesn't help with that safety critical job for them to come to work with the stress of not getting paid.
Among the many services at risk, food and water safety inspections, services at national parks, disaster funding for places like Hawaii and Florida, passport processing. We can expect airport delays, with many unpaid TSA screeners likely to be absent. And thousands of preschool kids could be shut out of the Head Start program.
We're talking about kids that are living in extreme poverty. Not having this system up and running would really, really impact the kids and the communities that need it the most.
Other impacts: immigration court cases put off, and no new government aid to help states cope with migrants.
New federal funds will not be available to help states like New York deal with the asylum seekers crisis.
Social Security and Medicare payments will continue uninterrupted, but service?
Person come and want to apply for a new claim, that won't happen. A person have an issue with their benefits, they have no one to call, no one to talk to.
The broader economy would take a hit, experts say, because things like permitting for construction projects and loan approvals for farms and small businesses could be paused.
A government shutdown is just yet another drag on the economy because it ends up disrupting lots of supply chains and lots of services that people and businesses rely on them to keep other parts of the economy running.
What should the average American do to prepare for a possible shutdown? Analyst Catherine Rampell advises check on what benefits you're receiving from the federal government, whether it's food stamps or your child's preschool, and find out if those benefits are going to be disrupted. And she says contact your representative in Congress and urge them to work as hard as possible to reach a funding deal, Wolf. But as Manu explained, that may not be likely.